Today we'll be playing it a little yeah, the race, as the race start has just already been underway. With a little bit of mistake on the commentary side, we are back for round 4 here in VRT with Sebastian Crow already on the outside, losing 2 position contact and crash already. Oh dearie me, there's audio issues at the start. Oh, I have no audio. This is on 0 for some reason. There we go, we're back. It's big incident for a pole position starter. I just missed it, and oh, even more issues going through turns 4. The Mercedes have had a Mercedes moment and had collided going wide.
Sorry, Alex, that should be a safety car.
There should be a safety car. Set by the leader owner Ray Spider here in the box. There should be a safety car. Will there be a safety car? 3-second penalty for Alexander Jiggler for using the ISPA stopper. Got the lead at the start of the race. There we go. 4 safety car deployed. And this is a good time to apologize for our commentary issues here and live broadcast issues. As every F1 stopper doesn't pit, Andy Park goes in the pit lane for a stop. Pavel Pertoma stays out, Jiggler stays out, but in the back, Victor Backe goes in, Sebastian Crow in the Mercedes was involved in it, goes in, Lambertson in the Haas goes in, and Ray Spider decides to also go into the pit lane after the incident. Basically, I apologize from the broadcasting side to have this delay in the stream for having started right on the race start. Pardon me also for the audio issues. Everything should be back now. And with that, a good 37 laps of hard racing will be underway. But of an issue as well from the race starters, big incidents. Turn 1, I believe there was a dive. There was a bit of a dive going to turn 1 with the Mercedes being tagged on the rear end, sliding and colliding with 3 more cars. That was bit of a domino effect, that's how we'd like to call it in racing. It's just one fault when you slide across the track. It's just sad that you just collect some more drivers. But currently our safety car, Alex Hobbs, pushing its Mercedes to its absolute limits, just to have the drivers behind. A little bit of a push to warm the tires, to keep the tires warm. Current tires that are on the grid are Stopper is on the C2 compound. That's the hardest compound on the race so far. So is Pavel Pertoma and Eric Brenner. Then Jiglov is on the softest compound of tires with the soft car. What is going on here? There's been an overtake under the safety car. The AlphaTauri of Sandra Jiglov just overtook and goes into the pit lane. I believe that was a bit of a strategic call there to overtake, just gain a little bit of temps. Those are the softest compounds probably being removed on that car. Then after that, Victor Backe, hardest compound, followed by Sebastian Crow also being on the hardest compound. Then medium runners with Charlie Lambertson being on this medium compound. So is Ray Spider. Let's see what our 2 drivers who pitted do go on. Xander Jiglov has exited, and Andy Park had followed as well in. Andy Park had the 1-2 with Sarah Mufetova last time I commentated around Silverstone. Andy Park was also a driver contender for the win in Austria after a sad incident who put them out. But they go onto the hardest compound and will rejoin in second to last and last respectfully after a stop like that. But of a last minute call, even a bit of a late call, as the safety car was already out for 1 lap. Let's see for how long the safety car will stay out by the time of when the safety car will get called in. Let's see where it will be by the end. But of course, Isvan Stopper will be the driver who will take it away afterwards. We will be on board once the start happens with a camera pointing at the back here, so we just see where the other drivers will be, but this engine you're hearing is just from the Mercedes. Bit of a loud engine, to be told. Audio issues still on my end with the onboards of the car, so we'll be very quiet or naughty here. I still haven't found an issue for that, but I will only be for a second on the car until we be back. So safety car in this lap, as you see on the minimap on the right hand side. All the drivers have managed to keep back up with the pack. So it's gonna be a whole new race start with Isran Stopper, who had the best start from that grid start, where the Mercedes sadly was just collected, and there we go. Isran Stopper can drop the hammer any second once the safety car on the right, the P10 car, goes in. Isran Stopper has dropped the hammer very early, and the Ferrari couldn't respond and even spins out, and in the back cars are going off, and what has happened? There's a car that's a Mercedes are leading, a pole position car gone off, but the Ferrari of Bill Thomas just got collected by the curb and also spun. So now the Ferrari of Victor Bakker goes up into third, so does McLaren of Brenner in P2, so it's going to 1-2. Lamberson loses the position to Ray Spider in the back. Jiggler of Andy Park go wide, and still on the outside is Jiggler, losing just a little bit more time. But the Ferrari in the back starting to catch a little bit after that half spin, having to recover just in the back of the grid. But Isran Stopper, that was an amazing restart. 2 seconds, already nearly 3 seconds to his teammate down in P2. And then the Ferrari in P3 is trying to keep up as much as possible with the McLaren up in front. By the Ray Spider gets a good run down the inside into turn 10. Into now turn 11, still taking the inside line. Will it be possible from him? Wide goes to McLaren into the final 2 corners, start side by side. We also in the back some position switches, but the Ferrari could not manage to stay with the 2, but the McLaren also in his position. So Ray Spider double overtake in the final sector. He feels confident with those medium compound of tires. He got the softer ones in the back. Lamberson goes on the inside. They make it 3 wide. It's Haas.
DRS enabled.
Send it in. And managed to get 2 positions as well. The Haas are falling down. Not being the tire you want to be on. DRS enabled, as we heard there. So we will see that rear wing open and gain those extra couple of kilometers an hour. As there currently no audio here for a second. That will be fixed very soon. Here we go. There we go. We're back. Isran Stopper, 3.7 seconds, gaining nearly another second on that last lap. Ray Spider on the medium compound. Can he do anything now? Lamberson is in the DS zone. Will we see that DS open? There we go. The track limits are the AstroTurf, so that all of those cars that we just saw stayed inside the track limits. A Ferrari just the issue with the Haas. He spins. He spins in the middle of the track, but has to rejoin very dangerously. Had no choice and had a bit of a collision with Bakker there. The McLaren avoided it just in time, but Andy Park goes up into P5 and Focus Yellow will be activated on 2-1, and every driver down to 8 is coming down, and Andy Park, oh dear, flying in the air, but lands it. And that is definitely not what you want to see. Is the steering bent? The steering is definitely bent. That was that damage gave him suspension. What Eric Brenner in the McLaren says is P1 as well. Has slight suspension damage as well from the internet. I'm not surprised, but what has happened? The McLaren just did not slow down and absolutely clattered into the Alfa Romeo of Andy Park on the main straight. Andy Park was late on the brakes, to be told, but the McLaren, I believe, just didn't. I am surprised, to say the least, from that respectful move. From that move, respectfully, Isran Stopper and that Focosello still. Now it says 21 seconds. Once the Focosello drops, the times will regain back to racing standards. But Isran Stopper's race right now, one to be of a dream of. You would love to be in the same spot Isran Stopper currently is. Ray Spider as well, after having a bit of a shocker into turns 4 Repsol with his teammate, and I believe that was Andy Park who got collected there as well. I believe, no, pardon, was a Haas that was collected there. That was still, you would wish to race Ray Spider's back up 6 laps after to be back into P2. That's phenomenal from his side. The Ferrari of Piltoma, after the restart, I believe he was the driver who had a bit of a shock and spins, but now he's back at the P3. So many shocking position switches to be told so far. But the full Corsello should be ending once Andy Park enters the pits to fix this damage. As right now that car is in critical conditions. And let's see how difficult it is for him to go around the corner. Look at that steering. He's fully 90 degrees on that steering. That just to go for a slight right-hander. But yeah, that car is in definitely... That car's in definitely shambles. Hopefully that car can be fully repaired. It might take a hot minute. Oh dear. Slides off to the right just to keep fighting with the steering column there. As Eric Brenner probably has a little of the opposite issue. I believe that steering is slightly bent to the left. But that was huge incident. Bravo Piltoma came out of that unscathed, but just about. I believe a bit of a rear tag has happened there, so this car might not be fully healed. But what will happen? Ray Spider goes into the pit lane, and it says for me, Andy Park repair. That is from the race director telling Andy Park to go into the pit lane to fix his damage, as that car is currently a hazard on track, and if he doesn't fix it, it will be a hazard to everyone out on track. But Ray Spider takes his opportunity to go into the pit lane. So Andy Park having to take that pit stop to fix his car. So any second now, the full Corsello could be dropping, and I will be on board for this battle between the McLaren and the Ferrari. They are very close together, but the second Ferrari in the back could have a shot as well. He's not too far from the drivers here. Andy Park still in the pit lane. Dear me, what was that? What was that? But now looking at the Mercedes, will he come out just in front? Just in time. Ray Spider goes onto the C2 tire, on the hardest compound of tires, on the hards, and just in front of the Spider. So this will be a three-way battle for the second position and the second podium position. Ray Spider's delta is probably not as high as you would love to. But now, once this green flag drops, this will be a three-way battle, and whoever comes out winning. We know that that McLaren has a lot of front-end damage after that huge incident. Interesting that he didn't go in to repair that, so he will be struggling with that front end with understeer. As full Corsello is waiting for Andy Park. Andy Park has come out now into between Piltoma and Spider. Knows that doing full Corsello. There has been an incident between the two. Full Corsello ending. 2-1, and we're back up into racing speed. Eric Brenner, 10-second penalty for full Corsello violation. The Ferrari goes a little bit wide of Piltoma, and into the gravel trap he goes. And now he's lost by Victor. Bucket in the back, slides a little bit. I believe that's some internet issues. Careful there, the Ferrari's still struggling off Piltoma. Side by side they go, and Bucket goes into P4 up in front. The Ray Spider managed to have a good restart there. Eric Brenner could not respond in time. He is just behind 1.9 seconds, but Piltoma is in the DS to his teammates. They can use the screen as a turf here for all track. Going there now towards the main straight. Final corner called Catalunya that we just gone through. DS will be enabled in 2 laps time again. Here we see taking all the curb is the Ferrari off Bucky just to get a good run. He is catching to Eric Brenner in front, And this could be a battle for the final podium position between the Ferrari and the McLaren. A little white goes Perdomo. His car is struggling a little bit, but Brenner is the car who will be struggling the most. Just sitting here now towards turn 5 we go. The Ferrari is just edging its way closer, gaining all the time. Those medium compounds are showing themselves, but also McLaren struggling with that damage. Now up turn 7 and 8, TV3, and now towards turn 9. Looking at the McLaren there, seems to not be losing too much time for the right-hander, but now towards turn 10, Lakaixa. Oh, there's some internet issues. Bucket is teleporting all over the place and Tokyo drifting, but that's not what his screen is probably showing. But this could be trouble to his teammate. Some decent could happen, and if that happens, he could collide. But on the inside, that was an epic overtake on the inside of turns 13. Even with his issues, he is not backing up. But now towards the McLaren on the main straight, side by side, and is helping him immensely towards the breaking point of turn 1. He is up in front. Andy Park fastest up of the race, 140.711 on the hard compounds. But onto the podium position with Sebastian Crow, 140.340. Response to that. So the Mercedes currently holds the fastest lap of the race. But the Ferrari, a bit of issues to turns 4. Repsol touches the grass on the inside, but managed to keep the car together. Now towards turn 5. This three-way battle here is still not over. The Ferrari of Perdomo could still look to make this a Ferrari 3-4 as he so does before turn 7, but nearly losing the rear end going into turn 7, but managed to keep the car together. And now over for the overtake, managed to get it in front before turn 9. And that is now Ferrari 3-4. McLaren of Eric Brenner is dropping down huge, immensely after that incident. Sebastian Crow half a second to Jiggloff, to the AlphaTauri. On to turn 10 we go. Here's the straight. He gains so much time. Now down to 2.5 tenths. He's going for the outside. Incredible grip by the Mercedes, and he's gone round the outside. As we now go through turns 13 and 14. For Mercedes gained lots of time to the AlphaTauri behind. Andy Park in front is the next driver to be caught by the Mercedes. Lamberson as well is starting to catch to the McLaren up in front for P5. That McLaren is just slowly losing pace all round. That is a big issue for him. He should have thought about that, but that is now a bit too late to be dwelling upon. He just needs to keep his mind in the game and check if he can get as much time as possible. Andy Park in the back is also slightly catching to these two up in front, and once the battle begins to brew between the Haas and the McLaren, Andy Park could have a good shot to gain even more time on them. There we go, there's open for the Haas. Towards turn 10 we go. He is looking for a bit of the inside, but not quite close enough to have a lunge. Stays behind for now. The dirty air is noticeable on these cars, so following the cars so this closely through these couple of corners here. Then McLaren goes a bit wide up. That's the front end damage showing himself. But now the Haas has a good run towards turns 14. Catalunya is going to get a good run. The air's open now. When will it open? There we go on this side by side. The DS straight helping him. Andy Park has gained a good second with them as well. But before turn 1, the Haas got the position down, and the McLaren now has to follow closely. But with their front end damage entered earlier, this will greatly hurt the Ferrari McLaren, as Alfa Romeo of Andy Park is just edging his way closer. Another half a second gained in the first couple corners. There's a spin. Jiggloff is round turns 12. Donut 1. Is he going to be able to bring it back on track? He's facing the wrong way. He's reversing on the track. Listen, stoppers coming round there now. Xander Jiggloff saw that coming and is waiting for the McLaren to pass. There he is, as in the wrong gear. He is reversed into the wall. Not quite what you want to see. Andy Park is out under the 1 second to Lamberson. But McLaren, Eric Brenner had an issue and got passed by Andy Park. Andy Park's the next driver to overtake in front is Lamberson. As you see on the outside there is still the AlphaTauri, struggling to rejoin the track. Now is free air for them. Will he be able to bring it back, as he's struggling to find the gear? He is reversing. What is going on with the There we go. He's managed to bring it back out to the track. Now with the battle for P4, P5 and P4, the Ferrari has lost time to the house behind. Lamberson is gaining to P4. Andy Park is getting under both of them. But this could become a battle for P3 as well, as Beltoma has that P3 so far. So this will be a full-weight battle for the podium position. Andy Park knows he has a pace. He got shown great potential this season, and this is an important position again on the inside. Incredible run out of turn 8 into turn 9, goes on the inside, but didn't manage to get the S there. As I think they went side by side on the detection line, but Andy Park goes up into P5. Next car ahead to gain from him is the Ferrari of Victor Bacche, and also in front the Ferrari of Paavo Peltoma. Andy Park could have a shot to gain to them as well. He was sadly involved in a big incident with the McLaren of Brenner, but good caught up from Andy Park there. And we see in the back, that is Oliver drives in one shot, except the Ferrari Mercedes of Ray Spider and the McLaren of Isman Stopper having a quiet race at the front. Brenner gets overtaken by Crow as well, not giving up any time at all. So into second to last goes McLaren after a shock over race. They want to forget in their eyes. This is not how they want this race to go. But Andy Park is just seeing the Ferraris ever so closer every lap. He's gained another good attempt. He's now 3 tenths behind Bacche, but now towards turns 7 and 8, all the track usage there from the Ferrari, he is allowed to do that. And now Tokyo drifting, but that's an issue. Oh, but Andy Park managed to avoid that incident nice and tidy, but Ferrari is in the wall, having had a little bit of a moment there and rejoining down in P8. The McLaren get the position, but next car for Andy Park to get is the Ferrari of Peltoma. Peltoma goes to the gravel, losing good amount of time to the Alfa Romeo. He is struggling. His eyes are on that rearview mirror. Andy Park has his eyes set. He is in the DS zone. Yes, he is. DS wide open. Look at that. Let's see how much time he gains. Sebastian Coe, another fastest lap of the race, gained in the 10th on their fastest lap. Half a second. Andy Park to Ferrari. Lamberson as well, staying in that DS zone. 8 tenths. All he has to do is just follow the cars in front, and he could have a shot for that podium. Andy Park just follows the Ferrari towards turn 4. That's where we go. Let's see how long it takes for Andy Park to gain to the Ferrari up in front. Let's see the difference in lines. The Ferrari struggling a little bit on corner exit, and Andy Park good run side by side, make it towards turn 7, but Andy Park backs out of it now. And now on the turn left-hander, now towards the right-hander. The Ferrari is up in front, but Andy Park knows he has a DS towards the back straight here. Where will he choose this opportunity to empty that battery, use that hybrid, and gain? But now he teleports a little behind, has a bit of internet connection issues, and didn't get the run. Jiglov again goes into the pit lane. No, having issues. He's on the exit of the final corner. He is in the grass, in the wall, and I believe he has given up. He has given up. He is in the pit lane now. But back to this battle here for the podium position. The Ferrari having a great defense here. Andy Park not managing to get enough time. The squad for teleporting is Jiglov. So we got the first retirement of the race by the AlphaTauri. Towards now turns 3. Long right-hander. Having to have all the grip in the world to go around there. But now towards turns 4. The Alfa Romeo gaining not enough time on the Ferrari, but Lamberson gains lots of times to the Alfa Romeo. The Haas driver just ever so slightly not seeing that rear end's getting bigger off that Alfa Romeo. Could he have a shot on this back straight? Andy Park will have the S there as well. He just needs to look to get a good run out of turn 9. But Andy Park on the inside. The Ferrari loses the position, had a bad run out of turn 8. But Andy Park has the S as well. And the Ferrari doesn't. The Haas as well. Are they going to make a free white? Not quite. Andy Park goes offensive. Contact between the two, and he's round. Andy Park spun round with that incident. Was just a little too defensive. Has missed the corner. Ferrari tried running outside, and they had collided through turn 10. And Andy Park will be down a good amount of time with a little bit of damage on that car, but he brought it back running. But The car who will gain the most out of that will be the Haas, who's into the podium position, but Sebastian Crow is here looking for that podium battle as well, looking to make it 2-3 for Mercedes. Will he be able to do it? Still so many laps to go. 11 laps to go, I believe it is. Pardon me, 21 laps to go.
Just for clarification, Jiggloff was disqualified by race control for mechanical issues.
Jiggloff was disqualified for mechanical issues there on their end. That was sad to see, but 21 laps to go, and this is still so much. We haven't hit the halfway point by so far. Charlie is still leading this freeway battle for podium. Ferrari in the middle, but look at the Mercedes gaining all the time, looking for the insides, trying to stick the nose there for the outside of turns 12, not quite. Towards Oropka we go. Turn 13, the right-hander, here we go. Onto the gravel goes to the Ferrari. It seems to be struggling a little bit with understeer the Ferrari. Sebastian Crow opens his ears, empties the battery. Will we see the move? Yes, there we go on the inside. The Ferrari has not little response to that, and the Mercedes goes up into P4. The Ferrari very close on the rear end there, looking to not lose too much time on the Mercedes, but the Mercedes has a good run towards out of turn 2 into turn 3, but Lambertson runs away from that battle. Now 1.3 seconds up ahead. Sebastian Crow needs to find the pace to bring it down to the S zone, but lost 2 attempts there through the right-hander of Repsol, and that's hurt him quite a bit, but gains attempts on the exit of turns 5 towards turn 6 and now turn 7. The Mercedes just need to keep us cool. We know the Mercedes has a pace. He has completed 2 fastest lap, currently holds the fastest lap of the race, it being a 1:14, I believe it is. 1:14.255. Will it be hold? So far, Isman Stopper though currently still dominant drive, about 10 seconds ahead of Ray Spider. He was in the Mercedes, owner of the league as well, so he's been running comfortably there. While in the back, the battle for P3 is still pretty much hot. Andy Park has managed to catch back up and could get a full-way battle for that 3rd position. So for Mercedes, gaining a little bit of time this lap. 4 attempts to the Haas. 1.2 seconds still remaining to that P3. We have entered lap 18. This lap, Isman Stopper is already going to complete that lap, nearly going round turn 10 and 11. Now turn 12 there, as we turn 10 and 11 being that long left turn being 2 corners, but now towards turn 9 we see going to the right hand side. Sebastian Crow managed to get down to the DS zone. DS gap, his swing right open towards turn 10 like Aixa. Long left hand, and now turns 11 also part of this left hand, and now the right hand of turn 12. Sebastian Crow is gaining ever so slightly to the Haas. Andy Park goes back up, not quite, a bit of an issue on the timing there, but gains good time to the Ferrari. Is in the DS detection zone. DS will be on after the straight lines there. There we go. Andy Park emptying the battery, probably to just gain enough time. 322 kilometers an hour top speed there by the Alfa Romeo, but caught just 3 tenths, 4 tenths, and is now down to 2 tenths gap just after that straight. But it looks to be the Ferrari just had a bit of better turn 1 and 2 there. When it goes back up to half a second, so does the Mercedes. It's just half a second behind the Haas for the podium position. We're following this battle for now. This one is interesting to follow. Towards the left hand and right hand of turn 7 and 8, and now towards turn 9. Slight lift off there for these cars, but now there's open for the Mercedes. 4 tenths gap, stays behind for now in sector 3 through turns 10 and 11. Now turn 12. The Mercedes is ever so slightly going closer to that attack zone. Will he be able to get the attack on the straight? He seems to be closer than ever. Now on the main straight. Yes, will be open now. Here we go. Andy Park does go for the goes back up in P5S. The Ferrari goes into the pit lane. Now the Mercedes not quite close enough for the attack. Stays behind Lamberson now, but the Ferrari, the Haas really is in dire need to figure a strategy to defend from the Mercedes. 17 laps to go, 18 with this one. Will the Haas have a way of defending the Mercedes for the rest of the race, or will Sebastian Coe be able to get that position? Of course, we need to also consider tire wear. Sebastian Coe has been on this tire ever since the safety car, so his tires could be falling off. The Haas, I believe, as well, is pretty long on those compound of tires, but Lamberson did not gain much this lap. Virtually nothing, still under half a second gap to Lamberson. Now through the right-hander, the Haas in front could just be enough to have that poster on the main straight. It says ignore safety car. The safety car being on track on the left-hand side. But, oh, there was some defense from Lamberson going to the middle of the track. Mercedes had no way to go and had to back out of that one. Now towards the right-hander of turn 3 we go. Hopefully a safety car won't be too big of an issue. Parked at the exit of the pit lane. Now through turn 4. Turn 5. The Mercedes just stays behind so far in the Haas. While it's well in the back, Andy Park is a good 5 seconds behind. I believe something has happened to the Alfa Romeo. They were way closer before, but now...
in case you did not see the message, please check. They ignored the safety car.
Please ignore safety car. Just to repeat for the stream, there will be a safety car. The safety car currently being in between the pits and the main straight will be ignored. The drivers have been advised, so no one needs to go behind the safety car. Now towards the main straight we go. Sebastian Coe with the S again, just half a second. Lamberson's last lap was good enough to extend the gap to 6/10. Now towards turn 1. The Mercedes is starting to drop off a little bit. Lamberson has picked up the pace, and this is what Lamberson's been looking forward to. That podium position could go towards the Haas. The Mercedes really needs to work to make the Mercedes 2-3 with Ray Spider in P2, but Ispen Stopper, the McLaren, absolute dominant drive. 15.8 seconds even in front of P2. If we just look on the minimap, Ray Spider is currently going through turn 9, while Ispen Stopper is now going towards turn 13. Ray Spider is way closer to this battle here than Ispen Stopper is to the Mercedes. But now, bit of a lockout moment from the Haas, goes deep, side by side with Mercedes towards turn 12. The Mercedes back out for now, but had the grip, didn't manage to keep it together. Having a slight look on the inside of turn 13. But this will be now be it. He is way close, so that there's attack opens now. Batteries will be used. Towards turn 1 we go. Looking for the inside. The Mercedes has a good run out of turn 14. And there we go. Goes to the overtake before turn 1. And goes into the podium position. Mercedes is out of a comfortable P2. And a slightly uncomfortable P3 with the Haas still very much close. The Mercedes goes wide of Sebastian Coe, giving Lamberson a good run towards turn 4. I took it. Oh, pardon me. There was a lag. I took a screenshot there for some reason. I didn't even touch my keyboard. That was a bit of a weird moment from the game. But now towards turns 6 and 7. Now here we go. 7 left-hander, 8 right-hander. There's a 2-corner complex here. Perdomov goes purple. Personal fastest lap, 140.6. Bakke goes also personal, 140.4. While Crow still holds the fastest lap so far, but he's gained nearly a second to Lamberson. Could he manage to bring that up over the second? There we go. Lamberson started the S detection zone. The detection zone will be between turns 13 and 14. Will he make it? No, he does not make it. So, Lamberson will not have DS, and this would stop her. Pits! And drops down positions. And Ray Spider is a virtual lead of the race now. And Sebastian Crow P2. And there we go. Isn't Stoppers now out of the pit lane. Go onto the medium compound of tires. They have 13 laps to show what that McLaren can do to gain 5 seconds to Andy Park, 3 seconds to Lamberson, 1 second to Crow, and 3 seconds to Ray Spider. All in all, if we add them up, 8, 9, 12, 15 seconds to Ray Spider up in front. We know he had a 15 gap from the race start to now before he put it. Victor Bakker fast up his race, 140.1. Those hard compounds coming in strong now. Looks to me that they're not losing any time. But battles on track has had to calm down. Let's stay with Isman Stopper. We know he is the fast, really fast driver. Could he manage to take back as many positions as he can? Mercedes really need to hold this out. If they can, this will be a Mercedes 1-2, and this is what they've been dreaming about. This could be the second 1-2 I'm gonna witness here in VRT. If I'm not mistaken, it was the 1-2 in Interlagos last week. So it's a rare sight to see, but if it happens, it's always a nice sight to see. The McLaren there, we absolutely trying as hard as Lamberson pits. So one position is already down for this one. Stopper. Next time for him to get is Andy Park in front. Those two know each other very well, so we will be able to see an incredible battle from the two. Of course, McLaren has fresher tires, but Andy Park is not slow at all. He knows how to take advantage out of anything. So we could have a good look, maybe there, for a good battle between the two. And Isman Stop, Andy Park could be the cork in the bottle for the two. For Isman Stopper's lead battle here. With we're gonna enter lap 26 once Ray Spider goes, but I believe Ray Spider goes also to pit lane. So does Sebastian Crow. Andy Park stays out, and Isman Stopper goes back into the P2 position. Isman Stopper fast up of race 130.692, and the Mercedes duo to go for the pits. This is not like real F1. They don't share the same pit box, so they can do that without losing too much time. Well, where will they come out? Ray Spider is the first to come out. Sebastian Crow right behind. Where will Lamberson come out from this Mercedes pack? Towards turn 1. The Mercedes duo has already passed turn 1, but not by a lot. They are all separated by a second. But Isman Stopper's main rival in front, Andy Park, hasn't pitted. I believe with Andy Park's late stop, he could be able to bring it till the end. Also, two different compound of tires for the Mercedes. Sebastian Crow went for the medium compound, while Ray Spider went for the hard compound of tires. And this is interesting. Going defensive towards turn 7. The teammates here battle. Hopefully no controversy will come out of this, as that's the last thing you want to see. Ray Spider taking advantage of all the track on the inside there. Sebastian Crow takes that advantage to the inside and goes into P3. So far, will Lamberson respond to the Mercedes 2 as well? He has gained some time to them, but Sebastian Crow 19 seconds to Isman Stopper, 18.5 now. The gap is slowly dropping. I believe the Delta just has to recalibrate itself after that pit stop. But Isman Stopper less than a second out to the lead, Andy Park. And this could be interesting between the two. Because once you go into the offensive, it doesn't matter what car you drive. If your skill shows what you have, it could be interesting. But also there's a battle in the back. Eric Brenner goes to the pit lane for a tires change. The Ferraris 6 and 7. Respectfully, but Isman Stopper still behind, but now into the DS back straight towards turn 10. How will Andy Park respond? Goes defensive to the middle of the track. Isman Stopper takes it over racing line, goes for the down under, and goes so far back into the lead. Andy Park could not respond to that. Did not have enough grip on its tires, and Isman Stopper is a leader of the race once again. And can he take back the gap that he had before his pit stop? Andy Park currently doesn't need to pit yet. Sebastian Crow and Ray Spider still not safe from each other. Ray Spider still in the DS zone, but just as after turn 13 comes, falls out of it and does not have it. Sebastian Crow falls up off the race. 130.2 demolishes Isman Stopper's fast up off the race by 4/10. But Ray Spider managed to bring it back down to the second. If he brings this together until the next DS zone, he could have a good chance to gain back good amount of time. Sebastian Crow needs to be careful not to overheat his tires and overuse his tires too much, as the medium compounds do not last as long as the hard compounds do. Ray Spider has more freedom to use those tires as ever he wishes. But now towards turn 7 and 8, Ray Spider is out of that second again, so he will not have the S. Sebastian Crow seems faster through the technical parts of the track, but with the setup of Sebastian Crow seems faster through technical parts of the track, but Ray Spider seems faster on the straight lines. Gains back down to a second, but not enough to go into the DS zone. But now here is a bit of more technical. Higher wing is faster through here. There you see Ray Spider gains a 10th. And Sebastian Crow gains a 10th to Ray Spider. Ray Spider just could not respond through these couple of corners. But now back onto the main straight. And here we see the gap going down. Let's see the speed difference. 304 for Sebastian Crow. 320 for Ray Spider without DRS. And that is about 15 kilometers an hour difference between the two. And I believe there was also some battery involvement there from Ray Spider. We've entered the final 10 laps of the race. About 2 laps ago, so still so much to go. Isman Stopper is already 3.2 seconds ahead of Andy Park. Pavel Peltoma, the Ferrari, goes to the pit lane. Is gonna stop anytime soon. I believe he hasn't stopped yet for the pit box. If he did, there we go, he stops now. On the left hand side we see his car. But Isman Stopper absolutely demolishing the race again. Has lost about 3/10 to Andy Park in the last couple of sector there. But Andy Park really has to push his heart out to have a chance, as Peltoma comes out just behind the McLaren of Eric Brenner. And Eric now is in a Ferrari sandwich here between Bakke and Peltoma. Andy Park is gaining just that slight amount of time to stop, but now through this part here, the tire difference, you just see 2/10, 3/10 gained by the McLaren, 4/10, 5/10. Incredible speeds for the McLaren through sector 1. Isman Stopper really showing what he has got for this race. Mercedes currently 3-4, but Isman Stopper makes a mistake, and I've commentated curse him. Andy Park, 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. So Isman Stopper is currently still provisional leader of the race. Andy Park needs to get that gap up to more than 5 seconds. The gap is currently 4.1, but Andy Park has a bit of a slide through turns 10 and 11. But Isman Stopper, big mistake, and yes, his tires are not in good conditions at all. Having to counter steer through turn 12. Will he be able to bring that car still to the win? He is struggling a little bit, so let's stay on the McLaren to see how he takes the next couple of corners. Those tires could be very much worn after a spin like that. And it being the softer component as well, you really don't want to have that. Now through turn 1 and 2. Doesn't seem to be struggling too much, but now for the long right-hander, this is where tire really is something that you need to have good advantage of. Doesn't seem to be losing too much time. Now turns 4, Repsol. Goes a little bit wide there, but not too, doesn't lose any time at all. On the contrary, he gains time to the Alfa Romeo. So currently, Isman Stopper is under the 5 seconds, so still leader of the race. Andy Park might not have a chance to fight that. As Pertoma goes back into P7 here, side by side through turns 11. Now turn 12, the McLaren is on the inside. Contact between us in the period together. But the Ferrari gains control just before the McLaren does, so it stays in P7. But the Stewards might have a look at that one. But back to Isran Stopper, 2.6 seconds. Let's stay on the McLaren. We might have an on-track battle between the two again. Isran Stopper might not take that chance, as he knows he's currently provisional leader once penalties apply. But of course, by a pride, you want to finish also ahead on track. 2.3 seconds at the end of turn 1, turn 2 now, 2.2 seconds. We know here's where the McLaren shines the best. What, will it be under the 2 seconds at the end of this? Yes, it will. 1.8, 1.7 nearly. Goes a little bit wide. Inside running Bernard Pertoma will be noted. Says race direction. So this will be looked at after the race. So now towards turn 6 and now turn 7 and 8. In the back we see Sebastian Crow 3 seconds down to Isman Stopper. Isman Stopper pushing all the way, trying to get back to Andy Park. It's closer, ever so close. He's edging his way so fast to the Alfa Romeo. You might be thinking they're on two different cars. How is the McLaren so fast, you might ask? But Isman Stopper is not giving up at all. He has the pace, he has the confidence. Andy Park goes wide, so we'll be nearly under the second, but just above. Isran Stopper could have the S on the next back straight. Andy Park really needs to have a defense of masters here to not only keep Isran behind, but also need to gain 5 seconds to him. But currently, as things stand, Andy Park will be demoted down to P3 with that penalty. Sebastian Crow currently in provisional P2, and Ray Spider is not far behind at all. If these two start to battle, Ray Spider could have a chance to get under the 5 seconds to to Andy Park, and could promote himself up into Prix. But we don't have many laps left to go towards turn 9. The McLaren closer than ever opens the S here. Is he going to have a look towards turn 10 as Andy Park goes offensive through turns? And now, bit of understeer. We see those hard compounds struggling. Andy Park did not manage to keep the lead there at all, and is currently demoted down to P4 with their penalty. Isman Stopper back in the lead. As currently looking at the driver down in P4, who will be promoted up into P3. Very much what he likes to see. Mercedes podium 2-3 is what you'd like to see. Mercedes, after a tough start of the race where they collide together in a old-fashioned way to into turn 4. I have seen those scenes once, and it happened here again. Now towards turns 4 for Ray Spider. Sebastian Crow is under the second to Andy Park. I saw a little bit of a freestyle on my end. No big issues so far, but the medium compounds of Crow coming in very strong. He is right behind the Alfa Romeo. No, he spins round. Can he manage to bring it back? That was a beautiful rejoin. A beautiful period. But Lamberson just passes the Mercedes up into P4. Ray Spider is still podium position. Pardon me. But Andy Park is now safe and is back into P3. And these are just controversy scenes all over. The Mercedes of Crow really needs to have a look on gaining that time back, as that is very uncomfortable. The McLaren of Brenner loses position to Pertoma. Pertoma goes back up to P7. Here we go. Crow goes back up to P4. Lamberson had no bad defense at all, but he knows those tires' disadvantage is very much strong. Crow is now back is in P4. Ray Spider, with the penalty still applied, is in P2. But if we add the times, Sebastian Crow will be back into P3. The promoted But he's still in the 5 seconds gap to Andy Park, so he hasn't lost too much time doing that spin. And currently it's still a 2-3 podium for Mercedes, only that Ray Spider's back, the driver who's going to be in P2. He knows he doesn't have to fight Andy Park. He knows he just has to stay close behind. Can't take any risks. That was a bit of a slide for the Mercedes there. Off Ray Spider. Sebastian Crow goes a bit wide as well through turn 10 11. He needs to gain as much time as possible. He is 4 seconds to Andy Park. 3.7 now. Ray Spider gains so much time through the final couple corners. He's in the DS zone now. He could have a shot. Lamberson. This is currently podium position battle here for P3. If Lamberson gets his position in the final 2 laps, this could be a complete shock of events. And if the Haas can take it, he could push everything to take that position. But the Mercedes of Crow really need to keep an eye out ahead to keep the distance to Andy Park, but also keep an eye behind the so Lamberson doesn't take their podium positions. Ray Spider goes on track up into P2, but he already was, so no big issues there. He knows he needs to keep it together, as any big risk he takes could be his chances for podium position lost. But this is helping his teammate gain a lot of time. This could be some team play here. Those two fighting could mean that Sebastian Coe can gain enough time, and Lamberson is now provisional P4, and Andy Park is demoted down to P5 as things stand. As we enter the final lap, Ispen Stopper, take it away. I will keep an eye out on the lead timing boards. Sebastian Crow is still 7 seconds. We see on the minimap. This is a battle which we would not look to miss towards turn 1. Sebastian Crow is half a second to Ispen's Andy Park. Andy Park lost 7 tenths to Ray Spider. And now this could be a showdown in the final lap towards turn 4. Andy Park is just struggling with his car. He's not ready to bring it anywhere he wanted. He had a shot for the P2 and lost it with the penalty, and now is currently demoted down to P5. The Mercedes of Sebastian Coe knows he doesn't have to take risks, but he also needs to look behind that the Haas doesn't go for an opportunity. Towards the main back straight we go. The Haas has a good run. So does the Mercedes. The Mercedes looks to the outside. Andy Park goes fences. Late move into the turn 10 for the defensive outside line. So will the Haas be able to respond? Into the final 3 corners we go. I have to switch to Ispen Stopper once he crosses the line. Ispen Stopper is our race winner in Spain. But Ray Spider will take second. Andy Park not quite for P3, but on the line. Crow gets it by half a tenth. He gets the position. Incredible. Sebastian Crow, P3. Andy Park's 5-second penalty will be applied now. So after the race, once the leaderboards will be made, it will show that Andy Park will be demoted down to P5. And Sebastian Crow by 0.04 of a second beats the Haas and gets that final podium position. And it's a Mercedes 2-3. Ray Spider celebrating there. Very much deserves, but Ispen Stopper is a driver who dominated from start to finish. Calculated everything perfectly. Had a little bit of a spin, but managed to bring it back to the win where he wanted to. Ray Spider on the hand. Look how excited he is. Getting that P2 respectfully after a race like this. And a double podium with his teammate. Very much deserved by the Mercedes pair. Sad to see Andy Park demoted down to P5 after Lamberson was also under the 5-second gap. Victor Backe P6, Peltorma P7, and Eric Brenner, the McLaren teammate of Ispen Stopper, down in P8. Jiglov sadly retired due to a mechanical issue. I believe his setup had some struggles. But
would you like interviews?
Of course, we will have interviews. I believe we have lots of time, so let's see who we can
interviews.
Who we can drag in Let's wait. Maybe some more drivers to come in. Sebastian Coe and Ray Spider currently waiting. I hope Isvan Stopper could join us as well. If not, sad. I would. Of course, if he does join in, the first driver that we need to talk about is Ray Spider. So let's get Ray up in here. I've just been told I am mispronouncing their names. So
right, Rye Spider.
Huh?
Rye.
Yeah, Rye Spider. I have as well. I have to say I have been told as well that that's the actual way to pronounce it. But Isprint, I believe, I don't know how to still pronounce that. So
Oh, I don't think anyone does.
I believe the only one who does is Iceprint. It's Iceprint, and I really apologize. So let's get him up in here. Iceprint Stopper, am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes.
So, pardon me, I've been calling you Isprint for the entire race, and I believe for this league. My mistakes, I've been corrected now. So, congratulations on the race win. How does it feel?
Feels pretty good. I didn't do a whole lot this race. I spun. That was not ideal. And then I did it again later, actually. But apart from that, pretty good race.
I can imagine. What were your thoughts during the race after having a big lead, 15 seconds before those pit stops, after being down in P5, but then with a good battle against Andy back in the lead? What were your thoughts for the entirety of the race?
It was quite interesting. One thing I have to note is Eric Brenner, my teammate, being like up in P2 for like a little while in the beginning, and slowly like falling down. It was really cool to be like, oh, McLaren won too, let's go. Didn't last very long. No, I pitted for C3s early because I spun. So I already lost like 5 laps then. Or 5 seconds, I mean. And then I just quick pitted and I just made the time back. I just tried to.
Of course, Matt, I have to say that was, from a commentator standpoint, a dominant drive, and congratulations on that. Wait, what was the tire switch for this race? I saw a 2-stopper being done here. Was that the strategy, or could a 1-stopper work as well?
I did a 1-stop. That's what I did. I was on C2, so now I just went to C3s in like lap 28 or something like that.
Oh, I believe...
And that worked well.
My apologies. I saw you pit at the safety car. That's what many drivers did. No, you did not. So 1-stopper was possible, and you've done it and managed to bring it together. What were your thoughts during that spin?
Oh no. Also annoyed at the ABS. So the kind of put like drivers, kind of put in like the driver's perspective. These cars are a lot quicker with the ABS and traction control enabled, but on this track, once the traction control gives up and you're spinning and you have ABS enabled, the car will just spin and you cannot save it anymore. Because you cannot put the fronts right. So it's like a juggle. I have a button mapped for like turning ABS on and off. Because I'm like, well, when I feel like I'm gonna spin, I should probably turn it off, so I can save myself. But didn't work.
Well,
it was interesting.
That is an interesting thought as well. Once the car slides, that you're basically passing the car, but very nicely done that you've managed to bring it back in the lead, and well, congratulations. Do you have anything to add on? So if those my only questions.
Just one note, and that's that once the car spins, you are not a passenger if ABS is off, because locking up the fronts, so 99% of the times the car will just go like fully straight again, and you can just drive. Like it's how you can do this, like those insane saves, as you see sometimes, just slamming the brakes. That's about it.
Well, sad to see that you did manage to get that together. But, well, congratulations anyway, you managed to bring, in the end of the race, still a complete dominant drive. And, well, I sprint, let me say your name once correctly for the stream again. Just apologies as well for, if you rewatch, I have
No,
Sadly
dude,
caught you.
everybody like messes up my name. It's nothing to worry about.
All right. Well, have a good rest of your evening, and we will
Thank you.
see you hopefully in the next round, which will be, if I'm not mistaken, let me just to be sure. Let me have a look. Of course, we don't want to say false information here. We have for round 5. It will be if Alex could help in here.
Oh god. Hold on, I should have.
I can check for you.
Hold on. I have the Google Drive of the tracks, so I can see what's round 5. Who knows Nürburgring?
Oh, the Nürburgring! How can I forget? Of course, but commentator's home Grand Prix. So that's going to be an interesting one. I hope to see you there with a good chunk of practice, as of course, hopefully we'll see another dominant drive from you, Sprint. And have a good rest of your evening. Have a good weekend, and we will see you next week.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye.
Well, next driver, and I believe we're going to have some spectacles in here, will be Rye Spider. I have to apologize as well to him, as I've been mispronouncing his name as well. Rye Spider, first and foremost... Oh, have I just interrupted something?
No, sorry.
Rye Spider, first and foremost, I apologize for mispronouncing your name for the race. I've called you Ray, a bit of a commentator's moment there, so I apologize first and foremost for that, and I hope we fix that for the next race. Congratulations on P2. What are your thoughts?
I am so happy because it was like right at the start, right? I was stressed and annoyed because I was speaking to a lot of people. In the VC, I was like, oh no, my quali went so bad, but I was like, trust me, I'll make it up in the race, and I did. It was actually really fun, even though lap 1 was really hectic. And you heard me pop in earlier about, yeah, I'm glad I managed to actually get a podium in the end of it. I was kind of surprised as I watched it unfold. I was like, ooh, there's a possibility of me getting P3. Then I see people catching, it's like, oh, maybe P4. Then out of nowhere, P2. So really happy with that.
Well, that was from a commentator's perspective as well. Your race was just a roller coaster of emotions. And can you run us down on that 2016 Mercedes moment into turn 4?
That. Okay, this was really bad. In our VC, right? I was like to Seb, okay, you're clearly faster than me, so I'll let you pass, right? But then I was like, I'll let him pass on the straight. But he got a better run than me through, like, this turn.
Turn 3.
So I was like, oh, wait, I might as well let him pass now so he doesn't lose time. So I said, pass now. But it was right as we were about to go into the corner. I was like, oh, wait, crap, don't pass now. And then I moved back and it was like, mate, you can't say that there. But, yeah. It was very tense, but it eventually happened, yeah.
Well,
a minor miscommunication.
Luckily, that didn't ruin either of your races, as in the end, you guys managed to get a double podium. Yeah. But, of course, run us through your strategy. I believe you have pitted under the safety car. Was done in the end a 2-stop, if I'm correct?
I think it was 3.
A 3-stop? Can you run us down your thoughts there?
Yeah, so during safety car, I pitted first because I was like, oh, I have damage, right?
Of course.
And I pitted for C3s. I was like, oh yeah, they'll be fine because of the mandatory tire compound. Our safety car restart, can't lie, I actually cooked during that, I feel like. Because, like, I threw, like, the most ridiculous dummy on Victor. It's like, so I was pretty happy with that, and then I managed to get up. But then during the full course yellow, it was called right as I went past the final corner. But then when I saw that Andy Park had to pit for the full course yellow to end, I pitted again and went on to C2s. And then I finally pit, like, I knew the tyres would not last until the end. I lost so much pace. I was losing like a second a lap or something near the end of it. So I was speaking to Seb and we're like, even though the game doesn't simulate it, we're like, we might as well double stack. It went for C2s again. And that was when I was able to like actually drive the way I wanted to, because I think I was setting like 113s So I was finally actually like, driving well instead of up in the 16s, 17s. So, and because the people near us pitted as well, that strategy actually worked.
If I may, I saw that you and was it Eric had a moment during the full course yellow. I think it was Eric.
No, it was me and Pavo.
Oh, sorry, Parvo.
That guy is attracted to my rear wing, I can't lie.
Oh,
I don't know what it is. But if I had a nickel for every time he hit my rear wing, it would be 2 nickels, which isn't a lot. But it's weird as happened back to back as well.
Oh, I love that reference. Talking about focus, there was a huge incident. I believe you were just on the inside there, if I'm not mistaken. It was between the McLaren and the Ferrari. Pardon me, the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo, and you were just on the left-hand side, if I'm not mistaken. There was a car up in the air of Andy Park, so...
Oh, that? No, I was right in front, but I saw it in my mirror. Like Beyblade spin, I was like, what?
Well, he managed to land it, so star points in the end.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, that was an incident which you just saw. Your thoughts. Can you answer your thoughts? What was it what were you thinking when you saw a car upside down in the air?
Well, I was like, you can't park there, mate.
Can't park there, sir.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. I was actually like really lost, to be honest, because I was thinking, one, how on earth did that happen? But then I was like, I just really focused on the race, and it was like, oh, well, VRL, what can you say? And just kept driving.
Well, Rai, pardon me, I'm sorry that still that in my head. I'll drag you back to the interview. We might have a talk afterwards, of course, as you're owner of the league. And, well, do you have any final words for now before we bring you back later?
Fun race. Yeah, no other words for me for now.
Alrighty then.
See you later.
See you later then. Next driver to bring here is Rice Spider's teammate Sebastian Crow in the second Mercedes. Congratulations, Sebastian, for that third podium position. I've just heard you I just read bad performance by you. Do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, I do. Pace, I mean, I don't know if you saw qualifying, but pole, and then the race got the fastest lap. So pace was actually really decent again. Kind of like Brazil, I was fast. Problem was, I got taken out in turn 1, and then on the safety car restart, I got a snap oversteer in the last corner as we went on to the main straight on the restart. I don't really understand it, but it happened, probably because I had a very pointy setup and cold tires, and other than that, a few small errors. It was just not optimal. I guess the result isn't that bad, being third, but yeah, it wasn't that great either. It could definitely have been better, to say the least.
That could that was my next question. Why you were mostly running more the C3 tires, but now that you had, was that the reason why you were mostly running the softer compounds?
I don't know if you maybe had a visual glitch, but I did 30 laps on the C2s.
Oh, dude.
And then 7 laps or 10 laps on the C3s, I think. So I pit quite late, actually. And every single time I pit during the safety car full course yellow, I went C2s, but I went for the harder compounds because they just work a lot better around here.
Ah, yeah, you did a free stopper, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and pit twice under the safety car.
Did you change the compounds there, or did you just pit?
Oh, I just stayed on the C2s because it was so early, so I just wanted to go long on them.
Tire change, like go on to new tires.
Yes, so in theory, I didn't spend it that long on one set. Well, actually, it would have been quite long, but yeah, I changed the tires and fixed the car because of my mistakes where I got damage.
With your teammate in turn 4. We had the thoughts of your teammate there with that 2016 Mercedes moment. Could you run us down?
Okay, so as far as I can see it, because I actually have it up now on my screen, so I'm going to look at it again. So basically what happened is that me and Rai and Charlie were 3 wide there. Then I seem to brake later than the three of them, but then Charlie just doesn't turn in, it looks like, and I have no space to go, and we all three just end up running off the track. Like, Charlie's way off the apex. Like, way off. Yeah, it's kind of like a 3-into-1 doesn't work, and then he missed the corner as well, which doesn't help.
Well, that
Yeah.
that is a unlucky thing to have. I believe there was, as Rice said, there was some team chat that said go for the overtake me now, but then noticed the corner is just too fast approaching. Like don't overtake, and collision has happened. So yeah, it, in the end, 2-3 Mercedes podium. Are you still happy?
It's good for the constructors still. We're leading now by a way larger margin. And it's going to be even more when Andy's penalty gets added to the race. So, yeah, it's not bad. I'm just not happy personally for the drivers, even though I'm still leading it by a margin. So, but yeah, I could have won, should have probably won on pace, but it's okay. It happens sometimes. Bad races. Can't win them all. Unless you're Max Verstappen.
Well, I just have to add, you had a great race going from virtually last to back into P3, and my final question was, what were your thoughts running through your head trying to do that epic, I say epic from the current standpoint, that catch-up game?
Oh, I was just trying to keep it safe, clean. Yeah, I had to run the car very on edge just because I have like the front tire. You know, this track has a lot of right-hand corners, so the left front just dies. So you have to run the car very pointy to not kill it, and so in some corners it's a bit sketchy. So.
Well, that was interesting insight from me there.
Yeah.
Anything to
add? No. Other than that, thank you guys for commentating. It's always nice to have the races recorded. Personally, I think that's great.
Yeah, I do have to apologize for having this delayed stream. I've missed the qualifying and had some issues at the start of the race, but all hopefully was good for the rest of the race. So I do have to apologize from that, but of course, congratulations for that Mercedes double podium and for your P3. And have a enjoyable rest of your evening and weekend, and we will see you next week in Nürburgring.
Yeah, you guys as well. See you then.
Goodbye. Last driver here is Icebreath Stopper's teammate Eric Brenner. Eric, second McLaren driver, can you run us down on how your race went for you?
Yeah, it was something. You know, I tried my best to avoid any trouble and all that. And yeah, I got kind of caught up in the back trying to fight for P6. I don't think this was a good race for me, to be honest. I don't think so.
Believe this is your second appearance in. No, pardon. This is a position. Is it not a one to be, but not one to be looking forward to? But what was your thoughts during that full Course? I believe you were involved in a pretty hefty incident there with Andy Park.
I have this skin thing where you know, when I get warm or like sweaty, my skin starts to like itch and stuff, and I was looking down trying to figure out where it was coming from, like the itch, and then I looked up and I just saw a Ferrari right in front of me. So I swerved to the right and tried to went in the middle of the Ferrari and the Alpha, and I didn't. My car made no contact with anything, and then I watched in my rear view mirror as Andy Park just flew through the air.
Yes. That was some intense scenes as in the commentary booth here. We caught that, and what's interesting how Andy Park managed to land it on all fours after the incident, because he was upside down in the air. How much damage did your car have afterwards?
Surprisingly, nothing really, because on my screen I didn't touch him. Like, I just went in the middle, so I had no damage. But looking back, I I don't know what happened, to be honest.
So it was a internet. It was more a. That's
Netcode.
interesting. That yeah, netcode issue there. So on your screen you didn't collide. On his screen you absolutely collected him. Well, that's going to be an interesting one for race control to investigate afterwards. Well, in the end, well, sadly, an incident has happened and had sent Andy Park in the air, but of course, he did have a good catch-up race afterwards. Sad to see that you finished in P6. Do you have any final thoughts to add to this?
Like, to be honest, I will take the punishment if I receive one, because I know that it wasn't. I'm sorry for the background noise, but I will. Okay. I will take the punishment if I get one, because I know that it wasn't right of me to not pay attention. And yeah, it just hasn't been a good day for me really, and the race didn't go how I wanted either. So I am not like this was not a good run for me.
I mean, sorry, voice crack. I mean, the incident's already been reviewed, so yeah.
Alright, so that was the thoughts from Race Direction. Eric, have a good rest of your evening, have a good weekend, and we will see you next week in Germany, Nürburgring. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, actually, it's one of my favorite tracks. So we will see. Thank you.
Alright then, enjoy and see you then. So, for again, the final person we talked to is back Rai Spider, but this time not as a driver, more as the owner of the league, and his final thoughts as someone who set this up. Of course, we have to. I just have to say, I'm happy to be a part of this once again. So, Rai. Oh, it didn't work. There we go. Rai Spider. Now talking to you as more of an owner and not a driver. What were your thoughts on today's race?
Much better, honestly. We had action. The grid finished a lot closer than usual. I think P1, I was 4.5 seconds away from P1. Then there was Seb like 2-3 seconds behind me, and then everyone else like I think everyone, the top 5 finished like on the same lap in like 10 seconds. But then penalties, of course, are going to inflate that. But I personally think it was a good race, and we actually had race control and the appearance of the safety car. So despite all the chaos, I'm quite happy with how it goes, and hopefully this will help pick up more traction going forward.
Of course, I do have to apologize to you, Percy, as well for having the late start to the stream. That was I do have to apologize for that. We have missed qualifying on the stream, but luckily managed to catch the race start. There was no audio, but managed to bring it back by turn 4. Race start had no audio, but up since starting turn 4, audio was back. But I have to say today I'm happy to be here, a part of this. Thank you again for letting me have the chance to commentate over this. And well, next round Nürburgring. Is there anything you're looking forward to then?
Yeah. I guess hopefully carrying the momentum, having gotten my first podium, hopefully it'll go further. And maybe even a win eventually. Hopefully.
Well, as people say, practice makes perfect.
Exactly.
If you manage to get all those hours, all that time in, it's not out of the question. With a race, if a race like today can happen again, racing is, how I like to say, racing is a gamble, and you can be a winner or a loser. And for today's race, you were more of a winner. So have to hope that next race goes in your favor as well.
Thank you. I also have as a driver, I have reviewed stuff with my teammate, and it turns out it wasn't a Mercedes 2016. We actually both got collected by the Haas.
Oh, that was
where was
number 20? Turn 4 on lap 1.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we didn't actually kill each other. We got killed by an external force. So things will still be popping champagne at the Mercedes headquarters.
Of course. Well, I just have to say, from my point of view, I managed to cut back to you guys when you were already collected. So on my end, it looked like the Mercedes had a Mercedes moment. But good to know there wasn't actually a teammate shunt, more of a unfortunate collection. But well, double podium, so nothing to really complain there. Those are my final words to you. My final words to the stream will also be, this was here now round 5, I believe, round 4 of Spain, Barcelona, in VRT Vanguard Racing Team, or our race was known as VRL, Vanguard Racing League. I'll see you all in the next week's race in the Nürburgring. Stay safe, keep smiling, and see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.